Thank you for joining us today at IFFGD's 2021 Virtual Advocacy event. Today, we are speaking with David McMahon, Federal Security Director, and Officer Brenda Grant of the Transportation Security Administration, also known simply as TSA. We will be talking today about the resources available to those traveling with chronic GI conditions. Thank you for being with us today, Mr. McMahon and Ms. Grant.
No, thank you for having us, and we look forward to this piece of the seminar.
Thank you.
I'd like to start today with asking you both, what is the most efficient way to travel with necessary medical supplies?
Sure. So I think I'll take the first question, and the best way I can share with all passengers that are traveling out that have some medical disabilities or impairments is, in advance of your travel, go on to the TSA.gov website, and on that front page all the way to the right will be a radio button that says click here for individuals with disabilities and medical conditions. And inside there will give a lot of information to the passenger, as well as guide them towards the potential need or request for a passenger support specialist, which is what TSO Grant is, and provide additional assistance at the respective airport.
Wonderful, that's great information. Thank you. And it's so great to know that patients can easily access that resource online. Can you also tell me a little bit, I know you said to begin preparation to go to the TSA website, but what other key things should patients keep in mind as they prepare for air travel?
So Grant, you want to cover that?
Yes, there are several things that help aid and to actually minimize the stress of passengers that's traveling with either disability or medical supplies. We also have a 1-800 helpline, which is TSA Cares, where they can call 72 hours prior to departure and request an assistant. I am a passenger support specialist. I ask if they're traveling with medical supplies or have a disability to call, or if they're in front of the airline themselves, they can ask for a TSA officer to come up and assist them. Once they are there, we actually assist them through. We do not ask personal questions. We just ask, how can we help? What supplies are you carrying? Can they be x-rayed? Do I need to hand check? Anything that we can offer to help them get through security without minimum stress, with minimum stress, is what we offer. So they can actually go on the website, as Mr. McMahon stated. They can call the 1-800 care line with TSA. They can speak with an airline rep. They can come to the ticket document checker and request, can I get some assistance from a passenger support specialist because I'm traveling with medical supplies? Anything like that, we're there to assist. We ask when they do pack, if it's medical supplies, to have it easily accessible. That way we can help actually get them through expeditiously.
That is great information and wonderful to know that you, as you said, what can we do to help? That you are really there to help the patients and anyone with medical supplies and conditions get through smoothly and stress-free. I think this will be a great ease for many patients to know that it might have had concerns flying, and to know that you already have such a great program in order to make sure everyone is able to get through safely and efficiently and medically as stress-free as possible.
And Marissa, if I can add to TSO Grant's response, the reason for us wanting to do this is, we have our mission of maintaining security. And in part of doing that, it's, that voluntary submission of what do you have that I can help you with to get through this process as easy as possible. And in addition to that, all of my passenger support specialists here in the state of South Carolina at all 6 of our airports will have a white lanyard on, so that when the passenger makes that request through the TSA Cares line and they get connected with, let's say, TSO Grant, she will be able to relate to them that, okay, I'm an African American female. I will be in a TSA uniform and I have a white lanyard around my neck. I'll be outside at door number 2 so that when you arrive, because we will literally meet them at the curbside to assist them through the entire process. So I think it's important because it's more recognizable to see that white lanyard around their neck and to be able to identify them.
Thank you for sharing that extra information as well. That is great to know that it is such a seamless opportunity for patients, like you said, from curbside till they get through, and how it is so important to let patients know who they'll be meeting at the door, and that white lanyard is a nice thing to look for on the TSA agents to be identifiable.
Absolutely.
Can you also share with us what patients with their medical supplies should expect as they go through TSA?
Yeah, so with their medical supplies, TSO Grant touched on it briefly, but we really are, if it's something that can go through the x-ray machine, then they don't have to do anything with it. It can stay in their bag and it's perfectly fine. If they are traveling with medical items that have liquid with them, for instance, an individual with an ostomy may be carrying a saline solution in a larger container. We would consider that a medical item, and we would ask that they remove that out of their bag so that we can easily identify that, do any additional testing that may be required, but again, reduce the amount of items that are getting checked as they go through the x-ray. If they have to be hand checked, then we have some processes in place that we will do some additional testing. And then we would also do some additional swabbing of their hands to make sure that there's nothing there that causes any alarm for us and the rest of the traveling public.
Thank you. That is great to know. It is such a seamless opportunity for patients to go through TSA as long as they know what to expect, and to make everything accessible and make you aware of all the supplies that they have with them and they require. Can you also share with us a little bit about what patients can do if they feel their TSA agent is not very understanding of their situation or their medical supplies?
Yes, at any time, as a passenger support specialist, I am here to actually exemplify professionalism, customer service to the utmost for the passengers without compromising security. If they feel at any time an officer is not listening to their needs, ask them to we ask to stop us. We're there to listen. We're there to understand what is going on, and we would always keep the passenger in our interest. So anytime they feel we're not listening, they can just stop us and say, please, I have this. I cannot do this. I need assistance with this. I can't take my shoes off. I have things I don't want people to know. We have ways of discreetly screening, getting them through security without hurting their pride or anything, because it's a sensitive situation with some. So at any time, they can stop us. If they have a hearing impairment or speech impairment, they can also just put it on their phone, show it to us. A handwritten note would suffice, but stop us at any time if they feel we're not listening.
Thank you so much for that information. It's great for you to stress really how thorough and compassionate this program is for anyone traveling through TSA, that if they need assistance, that you will really do everything you can to make that seamless, comfortable, like you said, really tailored to all their needs and be understanding for anything a patient needs. I think that's a very important thing for the community to know and be fully aware of, that they shouldn't have any concerns while traveling, because as an officer, that's your job to make this such a safe, seamless opportunity for them. And I'd like to ask as well, how can patients get any additional questions they have answered? If there's something we didn't cover, how can they reach out to TSA to really get all their questions answered before travel?
Sure, I'll take that. And as I noted at the beginning of our questions, the TSA.gov or TSA.gov, make sure everybody gets it, really is the one-stop shop for passengers with disabilities or with medical conditions and or passengers that don't have that. I mean, it covers a wide array of, if you're a pre-check passenger or if you want to get pre-checked, Real ID is on that particular page as well. There are even questions and answers on the aspect of what can I carry with me. If they click on the disabilities and medical conditions, I talked about it earlier, you know, if an individual has an ostomy, they can go scroll down on the medical conditions and they can click on ostomy, and it will give them kind of a rundown of what they can expect when they go to the airport. Um, what we don't want to do is cause any additional pain for an individual. And that really applies to passengers that are recently diagnosed and maybe have had a medical procedure and the ostomy is very fresh, or for an individual that has Crohn's disease, like myself, there are times when stressful events may cause unexpected urges and things of that nature that you feel like you need to get through that process. So ultimately, TSA.gov is the primary piece that can answer a lot of your questions. In addition to that, as TSO Grant noted, the TSA Cares line, which is 1-855-787-2227. That number will get you in touch with somebody to arrange for that support when you get to the airport. It's equally important to make sure that you do that at your departing airport, but also when you get to your destination and you're ready to travel back to South Carolina. Again, it's important to make sure that you contact them so that they can assist you through the process. But that's probably the best place to go is TSA.gov. Did you want to add anything to that?
Sure. As Mr. McMahon stated, the TSA website is, I would say, your first resource, but the 800 helpline TSA Cares, and it is actually available on weekdays, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. That's Eastern Standard Time, and on holidays and weekends, it's from 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. So they can call anytime. They can actually call the checkpoint if they cannot get through. There's various ways that they can actually have assistance if they need that additional help coming through TSA. We're there to help at all times. They can just reach out, like I said, even if they don't call 72 hours prior or go on the website to get a better understanding. If they get there to the TDC, the ticket document checker, and say, I need assistance, I need someone who can help me, we are there from the start of the process until they board their flight at all times to help assist that passenger.
Yeah, and I'll add into that, you know, the communication is extremely important. So having the passenger or one of their loved ones initiate that communication with us allows them to get through the process. And as a subset, it allows my officers to maintain the level of security that they need to maintain while also providing first-class customer service. So as TSO Grant noted, we will escort them all the way down to the boarding gate if that is needed. Our goal is to make sure that they have a good experience when traveling through airports across the nation.
Thank you so much for that information. That is so great for patients to have multiple opportunities to reach out and get the resources that they need when traveling through TSA. And we will also follow this program with a slide that has that phone number and link that you've both discussed many times. So that way it's easily accessible for anyone watching this video who would like to reach out and learn more about the TSA Cares program and all of the traveling opportunities and information through your website.
That would be great. We really appreciate it.
Thank you both so much for taking the time to share with us today about the TSA Cares program for those who are air traveling. And for anyone just joining us, we discussed with Mr. McMahon and Ms. Grant from the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA, about the opportunities and resources available for those with disabilities and chronic illness who are traveling and need the TSA's assistance. And if you've missed this talk or others, you can find them available on the IFFGD webpage. Thank you again for joining us today, Mr. McMahon and Ms. Grant.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.